And take two. All right, everybody, welcome into the high noon edition of Pugs Company, heard each and every Monday through Friday, noon to 2-ish. I won't go and do the whole thing I did last time on that. Sometimes 2-ish, sometimes 2:15, sometimes 1:45. It all depends. I'm no longer going to stress myself out making sure that we hit 2 hours, because this is a live stream. This particular show is all about the things that are happening in the world, current events, hot topics, all of that stuff. Also, we do a nighttime show. We call that Pillow Talk. And that airs from 9 p.m. Central Standard Time to, again, we'll probably give you 2 hours there because that's a little bit weirder. That show just, that show's allowed to sort of drag on. As I mentioned earlier, we did 45 minutes on what Martian babies will look like. So, anything can happen on that show. That's 9 until 11. And that's Sunday nights through Thursday nights, right here on your Radio Misfits live stream / podcast network. All right, let's try this now. Let's see if we can bring in my partner in crime, the Asner to my Carson. Why is he small? Why are you so small? I don't know what's happening here. You're so small.
Well, at least my voice is still the same.
Yes, but are you small? Are you small on your screen too?
I am.
Is Ed around? Okay, there's Ed. I guess Ed is in the chat room as Pugs and Company. Ed, why is he so small? Come jump in and there he is. As I say that, he takes over my computer. What? I should probably. Oh, that's why. Oh, so that's what those buttons do. Okay, very good. I like that. All right, very good. Although, how do I make them side by side? There you go. I like us more side by side than the other way. All right. I don't know what happened. I don't, well, that's kind of the whole thing. I don't know what happened. And the reason that I was saying that this show may go a little bit early is because I have an important phone call that is supposed to start sometime around 2:00. I'm going to get a 5-minute warning. I told them that it needs to be after 2:00, so let's hope. But if the phone call goes off at 5 minutes to 2:00, we will end the show early. How are you today? Appreciate you being here.
I'm good.
All right.
Just watching this, Kyle Rittenhouse.
Closing arguments resuming trial of Kyle Rittenhouse happening anytime. We'll get into that. Oh, breaking news! Breaking news on CNN. Look at that. Steve Bannon appears in court following a contempt indictment. I'm sure he's going to be well behaved. I'm sure he's not going to do anything performative in the courtroom just to, we'll talk about that as well, because that's what we do on this show. We talk about everything that is trending. So let's get it started. How we always start it. It is the 15th day of November in the year of our Lord, 2021. It's the 319th day of the year, which means there are 46 days remaining till the end of the year. Christmas is in 40 days. Thanksgiving in 10. 10 days from Thanksgiving. I'm doing the Thanksgiving countdown now because it's 10 days. And as we covered last week, Thanksgiving is one of my favorite holidays.
Fair enough.
That's okay.
I mean,
even Ed Asner or even Ed McMahon would go, "You are correct, sir." You just give me the, Your job is to fuel. Your job is to fuel the host.
Well, we've talked about this. I'm not as hyped up on Thanksgiving as, at my age. There was a time when, I would go out the night before Thanksgiving, and that kind of fueled my desire for Thanksgiving or as one of the holidays. But now I just think it's time, particularly when I'm, a little bit overweight here. I don't know that I need to be adding all this food.
You are not overweight. And Thanksgiving is the day we're allowed to gorge. Thanksgiving is the day that we are allowed to enjoy all the fruits, all the bounty of this wonderful world that we struggle through 364 days a year. Thanksgiving is that 365th day where we get to just say, you know what? It's all been worth it because I get to eat as much stuffing as I want. And honestly, I was thinking about it after we talked about why I like Thanksgiving so much. And I'm with you with the Wednesday before Thanksgiving and then the events of Friday after Thanksgiving, all of that when you're a child or younger, I should say, are very enticing. They're wonderful aspects of the overall 3-day Halloween period, or Halloween, Thanksgiving period. But honestly, when push comes to shove, it's about stuffing. It's about stuffing. I love stuffing, and I just don't get stuffing the rest of the year. Sure, you can get the stovetop stuffing, but that stuff is crap. I like real stuffing. I like sausage stuffing. I like oyster stuffing. I like stuffing with meat. I like stuffing with celery. I love stuff. Are you a stuffing guy?
Yeah, I'm just not a big turkey guy.
You know why? And this is a thing. Turkey's like a 365 day a year thing. I have turkey sandwiches all the time. I do. I just
Yeah, well, I mean, but I don't see
stuff
turkey like turkey
cranberry.
sandwiches and Thanksgiving turkey to me are almost like not even the same. Like Thanksgiving turkey has like a texture and a thickness to it. And, I don't know.
What about Southern cornbread dressing? And Jeff Glenn, let's not get into this. First of all, Southern cornbread dressing slash stuffing is amazing. It is wonderful. I love all kinds of stuffing. Here's the deal, though, dude. What are we talking about here? Do we need to have this debate? Is it stuffing or is it dressing? We don't have to make a choice. They are two very different things. Stuffing is the crap that's inside the bird, the stuff that is stuffed inside the bird. Dressing is the stuff that is on the outside of the bird when you present it on the platter. That's the difference. Dressing is on the outside. You make a little nice little stuffing circle around the bird with the stuffing that used to be stuffing, but now it's dressing because it is no longer stuffed inside. Let's get it right. And I prefer stuffing because it's more
Wait a second here. So you're saying that dressing and stuffing are the same thing,
in two different forms, two different
but
presentations.
they change names because one is on the outside of the bird
Yes.
and one is on the inside of the bird.
Yes. Think about the words you're using. Stuffing has to be stuffed inside something. That's why it's called stuffing. It becomes dressing the minute you take some of it out and put it around the outside of the bird. That is the difference between stuffing and dressing. Both are delicious. I prefer stuffing because it's moist and it's been cooking inside a bird's body cavity. It doesn't sound good.
Doesn't all stuffing ultimately turn into dressing? Because
Possibly.
once it
Yeah.
leaves the cavity of the turkey,
Uh-huh.
it's now dressing.
Yes, absolutely. Yeah, I'll go with that. I'll take a ride with you there. Sure, it does. As soon as you remove all of the stuffing from the inside of the bird, it is now dressing. Yeah.
Or should it be because it's cooked inside the bird, it's stuffing? Because a lot of times you'll make too much.
What does dressed mean?
Well,
Dressed
you'll
means
a
on
lot
the
of times you'll
outside.
make what if you make too much dressing, right?
Right.
And so you go to stuff your bird
Okay.
and you get as much stuffing as you can stuffed inside the bird,
Right. And then
and
you got
then
extra.
you got
You
extra
cook it in the pot
stuffing
next to it.
left, and then you put it in a like a cake pan,
Yeah, and you cook it
and
next to it.
and then you cook it next to it because a lot of
Yeah.
times you see the dressing like that.
Okay.
So that to me, I guess, would be straight up dressing.
Straight up dressing. I won't argue with you on that.
But
Absolutely.
if it's been cooked in the bird,
It's stuffing.
it's stuffing, and I think it should remain stuffing, whether it's in the bird or
Now,
out of the bird.
well, okay, that's interesting. I won't knife fight you on this. I'm not married to my position, but there are two distinct differences. And when people say they like stuffing or they like dressing, I like to be clear that I prefer the stuff that has just been taken out of the bird directly, put on my plate because it's moist. The dressing, when you cook it in the pan, it tends to get crispy on the outside. You know what I mean? If you ever,
Yeah, it's got like a
yeah,
harder
and it's
top
delicious as
layer.
well. It's delicious as well, man. It's like making me choose between the White Sox and the Bears. I love them both, but if I had to choose, I would go with the stuffing. But I love them both. They're both wonderful. Don't get me wrong. Rob asks if I've ever had a stuffing omelet the next day. I haven't. but I bet that's awesome. I bet that's very good because stuffing is good with everything. You want to hear the perfect Thanksgiving sandwich? You want to hear how you do it? Okay.
Okay.
Glad you asked. Okay. So the next day, right? You got all this stuff. It's Friday morning. Maybe you're heading out to a little Black Friday shopping and you need a little something to shove down your throat before you head out, a little bit of energy. And why not? You got all that food left over from the night before. Here's what you do. Once again, Wonder Bread. Wonder Bread is the only way to go. You toast that Wonder Bread up, right? Get it out of the toaster. You put a little garlic butter on it. Garlic butter. It's important. I know it sounds like a little thing, but it's important. Then you take a little bit of stuffing. You put a little bit of stuffing on there. Then you take some turkey. You put some turkey on there. Then you take some coleslaw if you're lucky enough to have a grandma like mine who made, God bless her, a wonderful coleslaw. Boom, you drop a little coleslaw on top. Then, and this is important, it's got to be that canned, gross, gelatinous cranberries, right? You know, the cranberries in the can? That's the good stuff. Don't you waste my
Like
time
the
with.
pureed cranberry or the one with the remaining chunks of cranberry?
Nah, screw that remaining chunks. I want the fully processed,
The
mass-made
puree. You want just
American.
like the
It's a
Jello.
Yeah, it's a Jello, and it comes out of the can in the tube of the can, and then you slice it in a little thin slice, so it looks like beets almost, and then
Okay.
you take a scoop of that and you put it on top of the coleslaw, the turkey, and the stuffing. Then you take a ladle of gravy, just a little bit of gravy over the top, smash that top piece of toasted Wonder Bread on it, and you have got a Thanksgiving sandwich that will blow your mind.
Hmm. All right.
Very good. It's very good. It's very good.
You had me till the gravy.
Uh, okay, we got a mom checking in. We got cool mom Sally checking in. She says, no, they are the same. Only difference is the region you live in. South is dressing, north is stuffing. Most people don't stuff the bird anymore. Oh, stop it, mom. You don't know. Again, break down the meaning of the words. Giblet gravy is good, Steve. That's fine by me, but I'll also like.
I'm not big on the giblets.
I'm not bad. It doesn't matter. I like any kind of gravy as long as it's thick and salty. That's that's what gravy is supposed. Man, oh man, are you cooking Thanksgiving dinner?
I'm not, but we're gonna have it cooked.
Who's cooking? Because I'm gonna come
Mother-in-law
over
and the
for
wife.
mother-in-law and the wife. How
Yeah.
how they do? Because look, not everybody can cook Thanksgiving dinner. What are we dealing with here?
I'm
You've had it before.
yeah. I mean, mother-in-law does a good job.
All right.
Wife has her dishes that she likes.
Yeah.
She what is it, the one? The green bean casserole. That's the one. And then there's another one. I don't know. All I know is they've been out getting the ingredients like for weeks
All right.
because they were afraid of the shortages that are going to be experienced at the grocery stores.
Of course, I'm sure we'll talk about that at dinner.
The supply chain
Among other things.
deficit that Joe Biden's responsible for.
That's
yeah, right. I know.
That's right. All right. So it is 10 days until Thanksgiving. Hope you have your plans. My plan is to watch football, avoid any kind of.
Got a Bears game and a Bills game on Thanksgiving,
We got a Bills game at night.
and a Cowboys game. Yeah,
Isn't that great?
We have a triple header.
We've got the full thing happening, and I love being able to roll right into the Cowboys game on days when my Bears play the Lions early because I like that. I like to wake up early and just get the first football game out of the way. It's the most important game to me because that's where my allegiance lies. Get that out of the way, and it's either going to be a great day or a bad day. Then the Cowboys, they can pick me up. If the Cowboys have a good game and the Bears have a bad game, then I'll be kind of okay with it. I'll be like, okay, good. Because especially this year, I'm starting to believe. Are you starting to believe in the Cowboys?
The Cowboys are, definitely believable.
Who do the Bills got that night? Is it
The Saints?
I don't love that matchup.
Why?
I don't know. I would prefer that the Bills were playing like a real, like the Ravens or something. You know what I mean? Like a real cool Pittsburgh, like a cool ass rivalry.
Well, I mean, the Saints are going to need the game.
Yeah. Who the Saints got quarterback for them? Who they got?
Oh,
Winston,
I don't
right? And Winston hurt?
No, he's gone. He tore his ACL.
Yeah. Simeon.
Simeon was one former Denver quarterback.
Yeah, I don't need to see that. All right, let's talk about what today is. It is the 15th, as I said, year of our Lord, 2021. Today, a lot of things happening today. It is a lot of day ofs. It is, let's see, we'll start off here. It is, I don't know what this is. This first one, tell me, do you know what this is? It is National Spicy Hermit Cookie Day. What is National Spicy Hermit Cookie Day? I had no idea what that is. You know what a spicy hermit cookie is?
No.
Cookies aren't supposed to be spicy. I hate when people do that. It's sweet and it's spicy. No,
Isn't gingerbread kind of spicy?
I hate gingerbread. Gingerbread is like blah. The hell is that flavor? I don't like it. National Spicy Hermit Cookie Day celebrates a cookie flavor reminiscent of autumn. Recognized on November the 15th. It's the time of year ideal for baking up a batch of these delicious cookies. Considered an old-fashioned cookie, its spices come from cinnamon, cloves, allspice, and sometimes nutmeg. Get the not interested.
So it's like pumpkin spice.
Ugh, that is another thing that's awful that we've all been brainwashed into pretending is a hipster thing. It's also National Raisin Bran Cereal Day. That I know what it is. I know what Raisin Bran is. Two
Yep.
scoops?
I eat the Raisin Bran 2 scoops, but I like the crunch better now than
Raisin,
just the standard.
yeah, I like a raisin, yeah, with the little nuts in it or whatever the hell those
Yeah,
things
the crunch, Raisin Bran crunch.
It could be anything. They could be plastic for all I know.
It's oats.
They had a nice little they just I like to add sliced banana to my Raisin Bran. That's one of my, and then the bananas go on top and then a spoonful of sugar over the bananas because the bananas need just a little spoonful of sugar in there to mix it up. It's also National Clean Out Your Refrigerator Day. Not a problem for me. I got absolutely nothing in my refrigerator at the moment. I got you open it up, it's like bachelor refrigerator. I got yellow mustard. Who needs yellow mustard? Because I got that in there, and I got a whole bunch of Taco Bell packets. Which
Well, you're ready.
Yeah.
Flavor some beef.
Yeah, now I just need to get the beef. National Bunt Day. That's
Bunt cake.
Well, I think so.
BUNDT.
I don't think it's the lamest baseball play day. Let's see here. Yeah, it is. It's Bunt Cake Day. National Bunt Cake Day, also known as National Bunt Day, is observed every year on the 15th as people across the United States plan menus for the holidays. A bunt cake is sure to be on the list at least once.
Nothing but Bunt Cakes is a pretty good place for a dessert.
Yeah.
They've got one over there off of Oak Lawn. You go there, you can get yourself some Thanksgiving Day cakes or desserts.
Isn't a bunt cake like the same thing? Is a bunt cake similar to? I mean, like bunt is the shape, right? Because it's
to
like
me, it reminds me of like an angel food cake.
Oh, angel food. Okay,
but angel food cake's like square, not square, like rounded. Where the bunt cake's got the ridges, kind of looks like it's scalloped,
right. Like a Jello mold.
Yeah,
like kind of a thing.
Mm-hmm.
That's I don't cotton to those kind of.
I like those because they're moist too.
Okay, I like a moist cake, but it just seems like those are tap out flavors. Like you could have done more here. You could have drizzled some caramel on it. You could have, you could have done something more interesting.
Oh, they have stuff inside of them.
Do they?
Yeah.
Okay. Because when I think of a bunt cake, I think of like a pound cake. My grandma, I don't know what the hell was wrong with old people. We went over old people restaurant menus a couple of nights ago on the Pillow Talk. Those people, their taste buds must have just been ruined by nonstop cigarette smoking and hard drinking from 12 years old. Because the stuff that they ate was just so bland. My grandma used to have a pound cake every morning, a little slice of pound cake. And like, this is just sweet bread. This is barely cake. What is this? I don't know. Also, today is America Recycles Day. So recycle.
We almost do that weekly.
Sally Cool Mom says that I'm frozen on her screen. Am I frozen on anybody else's screen?
Not on mine.
Let me know if it's just her. Oh, Adam Reyna points out that you're stupid. You might want to read that.
It's not animals missing the pun. It's nothing bunt cakes.
All right. Once again, we need more. What? Yes. What? Jeff Glenn. We're frozen.
I thought it's nothing but bunt cakes.
I think it's nothing but cakes. Jeff Glenn just says yes. You got to say yes regarding, because see, there's a slight drag
Look it up here
between when I say it and when I read it. So I don't know if you're referring to the fact that Emil is missing the pun. It's frozen. Why is everybody's? Can you hear us though? All right, there's Ed. Ed says you're fine. The listeners say we're not, but Ed says we're fine.
Man, I'm telling you, like, to think that Google isn't listening. I just typed in nothing, and then the first choice is nothing bundt cakes.
Oh my God. Oh my God.
Yep, it is. It's nothing bundt cakes.
I was telling last night I did a story about how I got an algorithm ad for a $37 million house that's for sale in the neighborhood. I'm like, why am I getting that? Why the hell? These algorithms are scary.
Yeah, I know. It's like they're listening all the time. Gobble it up. Make your feast sweet. Yeah, okay.
I don't like that. All right, what do you say we hopefully this will work. People are saying that we're fine on Facebook. 30-second delay from our message. Yeah. Thank you, Leslie. I got that. All right. Well, I hate that the video is having a problem, but at least you can hear. And I don't know how this will affect it, but let's do a little bit of moment of joy. This is kind of a weird moment of joy. This is not exactly what we typically do, but because it concerns someone who's just awful. Can you see it? Yeah, it's sharing. Okay, because it concerns someone who's just awful. How about OJ getting rejected by a young blonde potential victim of his in a casino? Here we go. I like anything OJ. You know, I follow him on Twitter. Good guy's nuts. That guy just, it's almost like Michael Vick at this point. Like when you see Michael, you'll see Michael Vick trotted out tonight on Monday Night Football like he didn't murder dogs in front of his kids. Like we're all just supposed to get past that and now listen to his breakdown of defenses. I don't. So here's OJ. OJ in a club, or actually it looks like a casino, maybe a club. I don't know what it is. But here's a pretty blonde girl who, and we know OJ has a type. Here's a pretty blonde girl. She runs into OJ. She's smashed, but at least she still has the good sense to know where not to go with OJ. Here we go. Your moment of joy. He goes in for the kiss. Nope. You see that?
He's out.
He's out. She goes in for the kiss, or he goes in for the kiss. Boy, he's a man of his age, right? You don't do that. You can't just lean in to kiss a stranger anymore.
She looks like she's in about her 30s.
Yeah, well, she's whatever. She's young for him, right? He's in his 70s. Let's watch this again. There's OJ. He's thinking he's getting something. He's like, oh, the juice can still pull hot white blonde. He's out. She seems excited by that. He's out. All right.
He's out at the club, or he's just out of jail?
I think we know what she meant.
I think she means he's out at the club. He's been out of jail for a while now, sweetie. I mean, come on.
She doesn't look all that bright. And she's smashed. I think, all right, look at the smile on his face, though. He's like, I'm going to kill this white bitch. Look at him. Look at him.
I don't see that in his smile.
Oh, you just can't get away from your Buffalo Bill icons, can you?
No, I'm not an OJ fan by any stretch, but I don't see him thinking that.
Look at what's that smile say to you? That smile says to me, I'm going to have sex with this girl. That's what it says. All right,
It's saying
all right, he's about to make his move. She's got an open mouth. Maybe he's misinterpreting the open mouth. Oh! Look at her face.
Giving her the Dracula bite maybe on the neck.
That was an instant no. He came in. No matter how drunk she is, I know they say alcohol slows your reflexes, but not in this case. No, not when it comes to a murderer trying to kiss you. All right, let's see. She totally, woo! That was like a juice move from back in '74.
Yeah. And then does it cut away, or what happens from here?
I think it just ends. It ends right here. And look, now she's like, nope, he ain't kissing me. Just a look
That right there is the best spot right there of the whole video.
We got
That
it.
look on her face is worth everything.
All right, there you go. Your moment of joy. A blonde girl.
Or scared to deathness.
Yeah. Yeah, she's like, no, we're having fun, but based on your resume, there are lines that have been drawn. You are not gonna kiss me. This is not going anywhere. She
Oh.
and she, she's kind of got that Nicole look. We know that he likes the blonde. She's kind of got that thing going. Kind of a white trash Nicole, though, wouldn't you say?
I don't see any trash there.
I think her behavior is a little bit less than dignified. She's drunk publicly,
Well, because
enamored
she's
with
just
double
giving him
murder.
the OJ heads up, like he's out, baby, he's out. Like, I don't
Yeah,
know.
yeah. I would not. I would not want the girl that I took out that night to have that reaction to seeing OJ Simpson. That's just me. I'd like a bit more
Oh
dignified.
my.
Uh, uh, because it's undignified. That's what I would say. That yeah, I would say it's undignified. Like I
A
can't.
little frumpy.
I don't like who me.
Yeah.
Why I'm not frumpy?
Undignified. Like we've seen her for 5 seconds, 10 seconds.
Yes, and this is what like that. I don't
Well, I
like
guess
that.
you think it's undignified that a woman's sitting in a bar by herself as
Absolutely
well.
not what I said. I said she's being loud. She seems to be enamored with running into a double murderer. That's a bit undignified. And her whole yeah. All I'm saying is that if one of the royal heirs brought this chick home, the queen would not approve. He's out, baby. He's out, baby. Oh, now she's pointing. What is that? Guns up. I don't know what's. Use the knife, sweetie. We can agree on that.
That look right there says a bunch. Oh.
Life is fun. Isn't that wonderful? All right. Let's see here. What else do we got? Let's get into the things that are trending today. Oh, this is nice. Yeah, I wanted to start off with this. I didn't understand why this was trending. So Rip Lonnie is trending. I woke up today, I saw Rip Lonnie, and I'm like, what? Lonnie Anderson died? Oh. And I remembered she's already dead. And I went, oh. So it was like a double sad. It's not about Rip Lonnie. Here, I'll show you what this is about. So I've been familiar with this for a couple of years now. There is a dude, this black dude, who seems really nice, who years ago, and I believe this is the 6th year now, years ago, he got a text from some grandma. It wasn't his grandma. It was a wrong grandma. It was a grandma who was probably not great at texting, and she got a number wrong, and she ended up texting this dude on accident, asking if he could come for Thanksgiving. Well, here, actually, I think we've got the, let me see. I think we've got the original text. Let's see here. No, that's not it. Here we go. Let me see if I pull this up. Sorry, folks. Internet's being a little slow today. Shall we blame Ed? Okay, yeah, that's it. All right, so here we'll pull it up just so you guys can see what we're talking about here. Yep, that's it. Okay, so this is how it started. So Grandma sent a text to the wrong person, and this dude gets it, and it goes like this. Yeah. Okay, there we go. We're sharing it. Okay, very good. All right, so here's the text. Thanksgiving dinner is at my house on November 24th at 3 p.m. Let me know if you're coming. Hope to see you all. Of course, that includes Amanda and Justin. Now, that's interesting. Was Amanda and Justin on the outs with the family at that point? I don't know who Amanda. I want to know more about why there needed to be a special invitation for Amanda and Justin. And then dude answers, who is those? And she says, your grandma. And he says, Grandma, can I have a picture? And Grandma says, of who? And he says, of you, LOL. And then look, Grandma sends the picture. There's Grandma. Right?
Mhm.
So, okay, that ain't my grandma. And then he says, "You're not my grandma. Can I still get a plate though?" And she immediately responds, "Of course you can. That's what grandmas do. Feed everyone." So look at this dude. Okay. He's like, "You ain't my grandma." And she's like, "You can come to my house." So there he is. So dude here has been going to this lady's house for Thanksgiving every year for the past 6 years. He just shows up.
Well, that's awesome.
Isn't that awesome? Look at this. Here's all the years. There we go. There's the first one in 2016, 2017. Look at them there. 2018. Look at how they've changed. And I also like the progression. In 2020, he's a member of the family now. I mean, look at him there, right? This one, the first one, a little bit awkward. He doesn't quite know what he's doing, right? He's like, okay, do I belong here? 2007, he's like, okay, I guess we're doing this. 2018, he's like, okay, I'm starting to like these people. 2019, he's like, this is my new family. And last year in 2020, he's like, this is what I do now. This is just what I do for Thanksgiving.
That's perfect.
Yeah. So we got isn't that wonderful? I mean, isn't that what Thanksgiving is all about? That is Thanksgiving through and through. Okay, so we got that one.
Can I give you a moment of joy back?
Yeah.
Lonnie Anderson isn't dead.
Oh, that's wonderful. What? That is wonderful.
See?
I didn't know that. I thought she died.
Are you a fan of Burt Reynolds?
I'm a big fan of Burt Reynolds.
Well, he's dead. So I give and I take away.
That one I knew. I knew Burt Reynolds was dead. Well, sadly, Burt Reynolds. Is this the one? Can we find this one? Hold on. Nope. Yeah, that's the one we just did. All right. So the question remains: why? No, we did that one. Hold on. Is this it here?
The question remains: what was Burt Reynolds doing wearing that vest in Deliverance?
All right, I can't find it now. Anyway, so maybe. Okay, so what the question is, why is rest in peace Lonnie trending, right? Because this is just that wholesome story about that black dude who ended up going to these people's house for Thanksgiving for the last 6 years, which is just wonderful. Rip Lonnie is trending, and I thought I had a picture, and that's because grandma's husband Lonnie died last year. And there was another picture of the whole family together with our Thanksgiving guests standing in the front, and it was the whole family behind them, and they're all happy and they're all smiling. And Lonnie, well, oh my God, Lonnie looked like he married the right woman. Lonnie looked like he was exactly like Grandma. He big smile on his face, happy. Lonnie died of COVID, so Lonnie ain't gonna be there this year. Talk about giving and taking away, right? Look at that. A beautiful story, but that's why rest in peace Lonnie is trending today for any of you who stumble across it on any of the. Now I want to show you Lonnie because I think Lonnie deserves his,
his due.
Lonnie deserves his moment. Let's see if I can find Lonnie. Oh, wait a second. You know what? Maybe it's best that we just leave Lonnie where he is. Maybe because this is taking a little bit of.
Okay.
Nope, never mind. Here we go. We'll find it. We'll find Lonnie. I'll find you, Lonnie. I promise. I thought I had this pulled up, but I didn't. I had the text messages. All right. You know what? Now I can't find it. It's no longer trending. It's been trending all morning.
Seems like it doesn't take much to trend these days.
Well, it gets bumped off as the day moves on. As the day. Okay, here we go. Oh, there's Lonnie. Would you look at Lonnie? All right, there we go. All right, here's Lonnie. You see, this is Thanksgiving's gonna be a little bit different because Lonnie's gone. We all miss Lonnie. See Lonnie, look at Lonnie in the background. Look at them. Look at they all look happy. Look at my man's girl though. Woo! He's so comfortable now. He's bringing dates. He's bringing friends. You know what? A dude that seems that open and that fun and that willing to just go hang out with a bunch of white people he doesn't know. He deserves a hot looking woman like that. That's a look at Lonnie. Lonnie ain't with us anymore. So that's why Lonnie's trending today. Jamal is his name.
All right.
There you go. There's a nice little was a nice little thing. And that could have ended badly. We live in a world where everybody's trying to scare everybody with, and then they invited this guy to Twitter and he slaughtered the whole family. That didn't happen. Did not happen. That is not the world I choose to live in. I choose to live in the world where Grandma, Lonnie, and Jamal just do this forever now because they've decided that they're human beings and that they love each other, and Thanksgiving is about putting all that bullshit aside. Okay, here's something. Here's a big one here in Texas trending. Beto is trending. I think we all know why Beto is trending. Do you? Do you know why Beto is trending?
I'm assuming because he's on his comeback trail.
You could say my man Beto has made it official.
And I want to tell you why.
Here we go.
This past February, I'm running for governor, and I want to tell you why. This past February, when the electricity grid failed, and millions of our fellow Texans were without power, which meant that the lights wouldn't turn on, the heat wouldn't run, and pretty soon their pipes froze and the water stopped flowing, they were abandoned by those who were elected to serve and look out for them. It's a symptom of a much larger problem that we have in Texas right now. Those in positions of public trust have stopped listening to, serving, and paying attention to, and trusting the people of Texas. And so they're not focused on the things that we really want them to do, like making sure that we have a functioning electricity grid, or that we're creating the best jobs in America right here in Texas, or that we have world-class schools, or that we make progress on the things that most of us actually agree on, like expanding Medicaid or legalizing marijuana.
There it is. That's the issue that this dude is going to get elected on. I am telling you.
I don't know.
It is the only non-divisive issue that everybody on both sides agrees on. They are going to put this guy in office on that issue alone. All right, let's continue. Let's listen. And then we'll get into that conversation.
Instead, they're focusing on the kind of extremist policies around abortion or permitless carry, or even in our schools, that really only divide us and keep us apart and stop us from working together on the truly big things that we want to achieve for one another. It's a really small vision for such a big state. But it doesn't have to be that way. And I know that together we can get back to being big again, because I saw that in February when the electricity grid failed and those in power failed all of us. It was the people of Texas who were willing to put their differences behind them and get to work doing the job at hand, which meant helping our fellow Texans get through that crisis. We did this out of a sense of duty and responsibility to one another. Now imagine if the governor of Texas felt that same way. Well, there's something that you and I can do about that. I want you to be part of this campaign. And whether that begins today with a campaign contribution, or signing up for a volunteer shift, or just committing yourself to talking with your friends and family about how important this election is, I want you on the team. And I want to win this with you and for all the people of Texas. I'm looking forward to seeing you out there on the campaign trail. Thank you.
All right. There you have it. We've got another guy. And I'll tell you, I am not going to share. Look, none of you's business on who I vote for when I close that drape. And you know what? It's none of my business who you vote for. So stop it. Stop proselytizing. Jesus didn't like proselytizers. Neither do I. And I certainly don't like it in the political realm. Knock it off. I want to go back to a time where nobody talked about who they voted for. My God.
Good luck with that.
Yeah, genie's bit out of the bottle. Wouldn't you agree? Yeah, I mean, I know. I think that's a problem.
I mean, so we got Abbott, we got Huffines, the real Republican.
That's a problem. That Abbott being flanked by an even crazier dude in Huffines is a problem.
And then we've got Beto. Those are three that I'm aware of. Who else?
McConaughey. But McConaughey ain't going to run now. McConaughey and Beto are friends. McConaughey will campaign for Beto. That'll be a whole McConaughey-Beto kind of thing. Look, legalized weed in Texas is going to be worth hundreds of billions of dollars. It is going to be an economy in and of itself. And I grow a lot of weed in this state. There's a lot of places, a lot of land. You do a lot of giant mega ranch or mega farms. I'm telling you, man. Texas does not want. One thing Texans love is money and making lots of it. Texas can become the legal weed capital of the universe if they lean into it. And I'm telling you, dude, it's the one thing that everybody I know here in Texas, everybody except for the Jesus weirdos, except for that little wing, but that's okay because
What do you mean
those
that little wing? That little wing has prevented
no,
gambling in this state. There's
yeah,
gambling in Oklahoma. There's
yeah,
gambling in Arkansas. There's gambling in
yeah,
Louisiana. There's gambling, I think, even in New Mexico.
yeah.
And so, in every state that surrounds this state,
Now,
we let money go out by the hundreds of millions, probably billions by now, of dollars. And that little wing that you refer to is the Bible Belt.
yes, and the Bible Belt was also the state, Texas at least, that elected the nation's first pro-life, balls to the wall liberal Democrat woman as governor for multiple terms. Texas is going to change again. Texas used to have Lyndon Baines Johnson, a liberal senator. It can change. It can change and it will change. Nothing stays the same. It's been this way for years and years. There's money on the table. The big money interests are going to be like, well, you know what? Okay, I know that there's these evangelicals, but we can make big money with all the other people who aren't evangelicals. There are more non-evangelical types in this state than there are the ones who are loud with the bully pulpits. And here's the other problem. Nobody's going to challenge Beto in the center left. Nobody. It's going to be his lane. It's too important. It's too important to that party. It's too important to things like women's issues. Nobody is going to challenge him.
I don't know, man. I think
Huffines is gonna be a parasite on the back of Abbott, and everything Abbott tries to do is gonna get split. That's how it changes.
But the way it went down with Beto, with Cruz, it was like you're either for Cruz or you're for Beto, and it got close. But I
Yeah,
think Beto's still carrying that
that was before every
anti-Trump
woman. That was before every woman
anti-Trump
in the
stink
state
on
got
him.
radicalized. Every woman in this state is now radicalized. Not every woman. I mean, you do have the weird ones. You have the weird ones who got abortions when they were 16 who are now anti-abortion. There are a lot of those. I'm telling you, what Abbott did with these women's issues are going to be difficult for him. They're going to be difficult.
We'll see.
Any dude with a daughter is going to go into that room and he's going to pull that thing and he's going to be like, man, I mean, it's going to be interesting.
I don't
It's going
know.
to be interesting.
I don't know.
I will put a bet on it right now with you.
You think Beto wins?
I think Beto, yeah, I do. I think that if the landscape stays the way it is right now, I mean, look, we're going to find out and we're going to be inundated with every bad thing Beto has ever done in his life in TV commercials from today until whenever. And we'll also get all of the terrible things that Abbott and Huffines have done in their lives too, but nobody gives a shit about that. Nobody's going to care about that, but we will. There will be some erosion to the reputation of Beto. They're going to pick up where Ted Cruz left off, and we'll see. But I'm telling you, the issue that he's going to win on is the legalized weed. The Bubbas want it. The Hispanics want it. Normal people in the suburbs want it. The cops want it. It's all going to hang on that issue. And he's the first guy with the balls to put it front and center on his platform. That's a winning issue in Texas. And it has been for a long time. I lived in fear that some crazy right-wing MAGA guy was going to actually grab that issue. But
somehow though, unfortunately, the Democratic Party has been saddled with they are for abortion. And
it's time to reframe that. They're for
and
women's rights. Nobody's for abortion. Nobody is for abortion.
right, but I mean the way it comes off, is that if you're a Democrat, you're for abortion, and if you're a Republican, you're not, which we all know there's a gajillion Republicans that have had abortions. So that's just them laying somewhere there behind the log.
They're hypocrites.
But it's definitely created a negative connotation that goes with saying that you're a Democrat. You don't, just because you're a Democrat doesn't necessarily mean you're for abortion.
No,
but
not
you
at
get
all.
that saddled around your neck. And, Abbott has really kind of created that with this new law.
And I think it's backed him into a corner that cannot grow. in a corner that is going to be especially troubling now that he's got somebody attacking his flank. Huffines has a lot of money. I don't know what the end game is there. I don't know whether or not. I mean,
Yeah, it's hard to figure it out because you can't be like assistant governor or vice governor.
no.
There's not like the room for two in this war. So I don't know how that's going to shake out either.
Weed is the issue, man. I'm telling you, that is the winning issue that for some reason nobody has wanted to touch. All right, so that's why Beto, who my opinions on Beto are very complicated, and I'm not going to share them. Because who the fuck cares? That's my whole point. Nobody cares. It's why we have a drape when you go to vote. It's supposed to be a private, secret ballot. The individual is left alone with their thoughts and their inner convictions. And in that moment, they make a choice. That's what voting is. All right. So we went through that.
Closing arguments have begun again in the Rittenhouse trial.
Yeah, I see Gary.
Man, I'm telling you, today, this prosecutor seems like he has rebounded and he's putting together, in my opinion, a really, really good closing argument.
Well, here, that's trending as well. Where is it? I'll find it.
He's kind of reframed it in a way where if he can get the jury to believe that Rittenhouse brought this on himself by bringing the gun to the bar fight, then he can't really be in fear of his life with the use of self-defense, because
I think it's about the
he created the provocation with bringing the gun. And some of the videos I saw like today, they're a little bit more compelling than when I saw him the other day as presented by the defense. I didn't get to see all the 3 different videos. He wasn't as close to him as I thought he was when he was reaching for that gun. And he popped off the 4 shots.
Yeah, hold on. There was a story about that. Apparently, there's some question as to whether or not that video was altered, the one that you're talking about right here.
Well, I saw 3 different videos. There's the above FBI video, kind of drone shot, and then there was another one taken by somebody at the scene, and then third one, I think, from a camera, maybe on a pole.
Let me see here. All right. You know what? I don't have time to do this on the fly. So let's just get back to what we were talking about here, which is this in this case, count 6 is trending. Count 6. Now, what is count 6? Man, this is just dumb. Count 6 has been thrown out, which was a charge against Kyle Rittenhouse. It's been thrown out by the judge. And dude, it's the only charge that he's guilty of. And the judge threw it out. The murder 1 or whatever it is, the murder charges that he's facing, I don't know that you can say without a shred of doubt that that's what that is. But count 6, he was absolutely guilty of, and the judge threw that out today. The judge in Kyle Rittenhouse's homicide trial dismisses a count against the defendant for possession of a dangerous weapon by a person under the age of 18. It's the only thing, the gun charge.
Yeah, but it was like a misdemeanor charge anyway.
Doesn't matter. It's the only thing that he actually did. This does not bode well for the prosecution. This judge is not helping anybody.
I don't know, dude. I'm jumping back on the fence here. I was like thinking maybe there's no way he gets convicted, but watching some of these other video angles that I've seen and going through. See, the one thing that I didn't see with the video before is Rittenhouse did point his gun at what's the guy's name? The first guy? Rosenbaum. He did point his gun at Crazy Rosenbaum a few minutes before, and
Rosenbaum
then he
started chasing him.
And then he got chased by him. And so if you take the position that, hey, I'm Rosenbaum, he pointed his gun at me, I'm pissed at this dude, And then he starts chasing him. And before he gets to him, he fires one shot in his pelvis, one in the hand, one in his back, which was the kill shot, and one which grazes the side of his head. I don't know. I mean, and he did all that in 7 seconds. You kind of brought it on yourself when you brought the gun to the bar fight and you pointed it at somebody. The same argument that I would make why he's not guilty of murder when the second guy draws his gun on him and he ends up getting shot. So I didn't see the video before where Rittenhouse was pointing the gun at Rosenbaum, but now that I've seen that, I'm tending to think that maybe I don't think he's able to create self-defense, because you're the dude with the gun and you're shooting a gun at a guy that you said you knew didn't have a gun when you pulled the trigger.
Well, he didn't know that he didn't have a gun. Remember that dude behind them shot off a round, so he.
But in testimony, he's thrown himself kind of under the bus here. In testimony, he said he knew that shot wasn't fired by Rosenbaum.
It is complicated. It ain't easy. All right, let's see. What else do we have here? Oh gosh. All right, so this was trending. I have to be careful about this because I have a very dear friend whose sister died of this when I was younger. Manorexia is trending. Manorexia. And this is because doctors are now reporting that there is a 10% uptick in boys, teen boys, falling prey to the evils of anorexia, bulimia, eating disorders, whatever you want to call them. And like I say, I want to be very careful about this because it was an incredibly sad period of my life when this happened. And it was somebody that we all loved very dearly. I'm starting to get a little bit of verklempt here, but it's a very something that I take very serious. The whole eating disorder thing. I mean, an absolutely gorgeous young girl went from being totally normal to looking like unrecognizable. And there was just nothing that could be done. In and out of clinics to say, and her brain was in a place where she needed to fit a certain social idea of what beauty was. She wanted to be a model. She was a very beautiful young girl, and she was a model as a little girl. And she was told that at some point that she was tall. She was like 5'10". She was just beautiful. And she was told that she needed to be thinner if she wanted to be a fashion model. She didn't want to be a supermodel. She didn't want to be a pinup model. She didn't want to be Playboy or Sports Illustrated. She wanted to walk catwalks. She wanted to be one of those tall, lanky, beautiful. And she destroyed herself. And by 19 years of age, she was dead due to these eating disorders. And I've had a lot of conversations with others of us who loved her dearly. She was a couple years younger than us. She was the little sister when we were growing up. She was like always running around, and she would play basketball with us and all that. And my take on eating disorders is that they are despicable. They are avoidable. They are socially driven. This idea that a woman's worth is dictated by the billboard that you see in Times Square of the 5'11", 98-pound supermodel. You know what I mean? These body image issues that drive these issues with young girls and women. And I, look, I don't know about today, but you probably remember back in the 80s, it was a real epidemic. It was a real thing. Pretty girls were going into the bathroom and shoving fingers down their throat after a meal to vomit because they didn't want, to put on the extra pounds. So now we've got manorexia trending today. And this is why I want to be careful about this. I don't understand this at all. I understand the ugliness of the epidemic as it swept through women. And I put a lot of the blame on society's unhealthy standards for what beauty is among young women. But those standards have never applied to men. Those standards have never applied to boys. This entire issue that now young boys, 12, 13, 14, are starting to engage in bulimia because, they don't want to be fat. They don't want to be overweight. They don't want to be beefy. They don't want to be this. Again, like I said, I find it despicable and sad and cruel and one of the major ills of society that this is a thing that women got caught up on, young girls got caught up in. But I don't understand how boys are getting caught up in it. If I'm to believe that a lot of these girls, and look, I understand that there are underlying mental conditions and there are a whole bunch of other things, but the overarching issue with these body image issues that women have are because of what society dictates is attractive. That isn't the case for boys. That's why I don't understand this.
Well, when you say that, I mean, if you look at a male model and a female model, the body images are similar.
No, they're not. No.
What do you mean? I mean, if you're a male model, I don't see any husky male models.
No, not
I don't.
husky, but they are ripped and they're big and they look like they have good nutrition and good food. Women models do not look like they've eaten anything in months. Women look emaciated. Women look thin and unhealthy.
Right,
Whereas
but
men
again,
look the opposite of that.
well, okay. I get where you're going when when you go to the muscle. There does seem to be a little bit more of a physique associated with the
Yes.
male model
Eating
than
disorders
there
destroy
does the
muscle.
female model. But if you're going on the overweight or not overweight, using that as kind of what starts this downhill spiral of anorexia or manorexia, it's then your own perceived thought of what you look like. And if you find yourself thinking you're fat and you then get hooked into this thought process of, oh, I'm overweight, I'm overweight, I'm overweight. I mean, people that are anorexic that are female, they're not even close to being overweight, but their mind is
Right.
portraying it to them like they are.
Yeah.
So minds being similar, I don't see
Minds are
that.
not similar. That's my entire contention in this argument. The male mind and the female mind, especially when it comes to social expectations of body image, are not similar, and they never have been.
I disagree. I think if I'm thinking of myself in the modeling business as a male, I know that I cannot be overweight.
But overweight is not the question. It's about health. It's about men who are depicted in the Calvin Klein ads with their six packs and their ripped muscles and all that stuff. They don't look unhealthy.
I think you're
Women
talking about an
do.
athletic body
Yes,
versus
a
a male
healthy, athletic,
modeling body. And I think there's two
well-nutrified.
different. I think we're talking about two different bodies.
Yes. Well, we absolutely are. And they are. They have been two completely different body types, which is why it is so strange that boys are now sticking their fingers down their throats and trying to become as skinny as possible. And the reason that doctors are saying this, social media. They're saying that there has been
Well,
an
I
influx
agree it's
in
social media, but I don't think I go to the Calvin Klein model or models
we
or
need
where boys
we need
are
to
and
we
go,
need
okay, those are guys I want on my football team,
okay,
or
we need
those
to
are
stop
guys that I
drilling
want as
down.
wrestlers.
We need to stop drilling down on the model thing because that was just an example. The vast majority of women who suffer from eating disorders do not want to be models. They just want to get a boyfriend. And they think the only way they can do that is if they are skinny, perfectly skinny like a model. Okay. So it's just not about being a model. It is about what society has determined is attractive and isn't attractive. And my point here is that society has always had different measures between men and women. What's attractive in a woman and what's attractive in a man. And I'm telling you that the problem is that it seems that with women, the only thing that's ever been acceptable as being attractive in women is being thin. Whereas men are allowed to be fat. As long as they're jovial, I don't mind a funny guy. Men are allowed. I have known men my entire life with bellies who were fat, who had beautiful women, and beautiful women thought they were incredibly attractive because it's not about body image for men. It is about body image for women. And that's why this is so interesting. Manorexia. Suddenly there is a generation of boys who have adopted the evil idea of what is attractive and what isn't from what has been put on women for all these years. And
Well,
doctors agree with me. Doctors are saying that,
I
yes,
think
this is a sin.
Abercrombie and Fitch. I can't think of an ad that I saw where I saw a guy that was overweight. I mean,
It's not about being overweight. Being perfectly in shape is not being anorexic. An anorexic girl is not in shape. An anorexic girl is on the other end of the spectrum. She is unhealthily thin.
right, but we're talking about it.
There are
Does
no unhealthily thin male models.
society affords the male gender more of an opportunity for success being overweight than it does the female person, whether that is in sports or that's in comedy or that's in acting or with the exception of modeling. I would say you can be a male and you can be overweight.
You can be a male and be attractive to women and still be overweight. If that's what you're saying, let's forget about being a model. You can be a plumber and women can find you attractive. Men, it's more about personality, earning power, confidence, the ability to own a room. But with women, it seems to have always come down to, well, she's a little chubby. Well, she's that.
All right. So and I'm with you. It's not. Yes, women are put under the microscope, whether it's modeling or business world or sports, anywhere, and them being overweight is less accepted than a male.
Ross Rubio says anorexia isn't about wanting to be a model. It's a disorder that skews your view of your body image, ideally weight, and it isn't exclusively to women and never was. I agree with everything you said, Ross, except for the last part, because I've got a bunch of doctors here in the Wall Street Journal who are saying, yes, it was almost exclusively a female concern. And now we're starting to see it among young boys. You and I both have young boys. You and I both have.
Well, I can tell you one thing: neither of them are worried about being anorexic.
No, not at all. We've got a couple of beefy boys, but I will tell you something. And your boy isn't there yet, though. My boy has game, and he doesn't lack confidence talking to people or specifically girls because he plays the offensive line on his junior high football team. He has not fallen victim to this whole, and he tells me, like, people are like, yeah, man, they call me beefstick. And I'm like, well, and my son is not obese. He's a big kid. He's just a big 12-year-old kid. And, the hopes are that by the time he gets to be 14 or 15 or 16, that his body will fill out, and he'll get a little bit taller and we'll see where we go from there. But I really don't have this concern for my son, and I don't have it for your son either. They both seem to be confident young boys with who they are. Now, your boy hasn't discovered girls yet, so we'll see if that all changes, right? I mean, that's going to be the.
Yeah, I mean,
if he decides to make some drastic lifestyle changes based on either opportunities that are there or aren't there, then we'll know. But my kid goes to Taco Bell and wants to spend $25 and doesn't care. His girlfriend likes his love handles, which is a little bit disturbing. He's 12 years old. Why is she touching you there? But we won't go into that. I just think that it's manorexia. I think is a very ugly term, and it was trending earlier today, and it's very concerning. And the doctors are saying that it has everything to do with people, young people especially, being more visual than they ever were in the past. Whether it's
well, but I mean, social media, Instagram,
yes,
TikTok, all those different platforms where you go and you do a video yourself or you get likes. I mean, I can see kids being cruel to kids that are not,
What? Kids being cruel? Huh?
Well, even more so, because of these platforms.
Let's see here. Okay. Hey, DaBaby is trending. DaBaby. Can you give me 30 seconds on DaBaby? I have no clue. Heard the name. I know it's something out there. Question for you, E. DaBaby. Male or female?
I would bet that it's a female.
Right? Nope. The baby is apparently a guy. Hold on. Maybe wait a second. Let me see. Jesus. What a dumb name. The baby. The baby. Yeah, let's see what we got here. It's a dude. it's a dude.
Wikipedia. Jonathan Lindale Kirk, known professionally as DaBaby, is an American rapper.
All right, and
Okay.
he's a big dude. He's ripped. He spends a lot of time in the gym. He wears LA Dodgers caps. He's definitely a dude. He is.
The baby, just like Megan the Stallion.
Right. Well, Megan gives
She's
it
a
away.
girl.
Well, Megan gives that away.
I don't know, but still, the stallion part throws me off.
All right, so DaBaby is trending. Why? Because singer Danny Lee and rapper DaBaby both released statements after the pair, who have a child together, were featured in a series of Instagram live videos. There you go. That's why DaBaby is trending.
Man, you can get trending for just a little.
Oh, you got fans, dude. Dude, if you got fans, something stupid, you do something just completely innocuous, completely just, whatever. And if you've got enough fans, dude, K-pop trends every damn day because somebody went and bought coffee. I mean, it gums up the works. Here I am trying to give you a well-rounded view of the world that we live in, and the works are all gummed up by DaBaby doing an Instagram with his baby mama and Jun-un getting coffee at some place in Los Angeles. I'm trying to talk about Beto. I'm trying to talk about manorexia. Here's another one. Here's another big one that's trending. Hashtag, I bet you think about me is trending. Do you know why that would be? Old man, because I'm telling you, every girl on the planet knows what that's about. I bet you think about me. Come on, old man.
It's got to be a song by
who?
I would think like maybe Taylor Swift.
Hey, look at my man. There you go. Yeah, Taylor Swift is probably going to occupy every news cycle from here until
So I was right.
Yes, 100% right.
She always writes those songs about like guys that like she thinks are pining over her.
Taylor Swift released a new album on Thursday night at like 8:00, and it shut the internet down. It shut down all the trends. Every 16, 17-year-old girl on the planet was going absolutely nuts when this new Taylor Swift album dropped. Taylor Swift did something that I've never seen before. Taylor Swift was the musical guest on Saturday Night Live. Taylor Swift is by the way, white Beyonce or redneck Beyonce, whatever you want to call her. She is like as big as Beyonce is in one circle. Taylor Swift is the yin to that yang. In another, like she's the white Beyonce, just as powerful, just as Beyonce could do the same thing. Beyonce drops something and suddenly it's, the beehive is everywhere. Beehives and Swifties, I believe. I don't know. Is that what Taylor Swift's people are called? I don't know. They should be Swifties. I should trademark that. Probably already has. Taylor Swift did something I'd never seen before. She did Saturday Night Live. She was the musical guest. Now, she probably could have been, I would have liked to have seen Taylor Swift do the double thing, which is rare, which is host and be the musical guest, but apparently that's too much for her because she is everywhere. Taylor Swift only did one song. Now, in the past, when you have artists as hot as Taylor Swift is, currently, as hot as she was on Saturday night, trending #1 everywhere across all platforms because of this new album that came out, sometimes Saturday Night Live will give you a third song, which is, rare. It's like you do the first song in after 20 minutes of the show, they go to the first song and then they do the news and then they do one or two bits and then they do another song and then they go to a commercial break or whatever. And then they do a couple more bits and then you get a third song that closes out the show. That's reserved for people like Springsteen, the Rolling Stones, Rip Beyonce, Kanye did it. The really big acts get 3 songs. Taylor Swift only did one song. She only did one song, and it was in the first 20 minutes. And it was 15 minutes of her on Judge Chihak. They gave her an entire block of the show. I'm watching it, and look, I love Taylor Swift. I think that she is, I joked about me and my son. We were always like, who's she more likely to go for, me or him? She is a wonderfully talented woman. She is strikingly beautiful. I mean, she is just, my goodness, just don't even start with me. She's a beautiful. And by the way, now I was watching her on Saturday Night Live doing her 15-minute thing, and I went, holy shit, she's not some little girl anymore. This is a 32-year-old woman. This is a full-grown, mature, deeply talented woman. And I fast forward because, I don't like that shit. Taylor Swift music is not for me. I can appreciate all the other aspects that I just said, but when push comes to shove, I don't want to listen to her sing for 15 minutes about how Jake Gyllenhaal broke her heart. And that's basically what the new album is about. She's very famous for writing songs about
Revenge lyrics.
That every young girl in America sort of rallies behind. Apparently, this album is about Jake Gyllenhaal, about a dalliance that she had with Jake Gyllenhaal, and and so she got 15 minutes on Saturday Night Live to basically just lyrically drag Jake Gyllenhaal without ever saying Jake Gyllenhaal's name. So the reason I Bet You Think About Me, which seems to be about Jake Gyllenhaal again, right?
I don't know. To me, like,
that's a new song that's dropping today.
She's the least of my favorite. If you had like Katy Perry,
I love Katy Perry,
Ariana Grande, and her, I would choose Ariana 1, Katy Perry 2, Taylor Swift 3.
Well, first of all, what the hell? How would you even include Ariana Grande in there? Are you talking just sexually? I mean, how?
No, those are girls. Those are female artists that have lots of famous songs.
Nah, yeah, but Ariana Grande is not in the same category with Taylor. First of all, nobody
How would
in
you
Taylor
say
Swift's
that?
category except for Beyonce. Beyonce and Taylor Swift, they're the tip of the spear. They're up there at the top. Katy Perry is just in the next level. Katy Perry is there as well. I love Katy Perry.
I disagree, dude.
Really?
I think like Ariana Grande's got like hit after hit after hit after hit. Like her albums just seem to come out like.
All right. Well, here's the thing. None of the people you mentioned do music that appeals to me. Yet, I am familiar with the body of work of Taylor Swift and Katy Perry, and not so much with Ariana Grande yet.
I guess we need to look up their catalog.
Yeah. As far as the Swifties, they are called Swifties. They are. As far as the Swifties are concerned, their long-held theory has been confirmed. It has been long believed that Taylor Swift's song All Too Well is about her long-ago relationship with actor Jake Gyllenhaal. Swift released a short film version tied to the song on Friday off of her Red album. The film, which Swift wrote and directed, stars Sadie Sink and Dylan O'Brien, who resemble Swift and Gyllenhaal back in the day. And the action all plays out the way her devoted fan base has imagined it did. So that was the Saturday Night Live performance. They showed this film projected on a big giant screen behind a lone Taylor Swift singing it into the microphone. It was, look, I started to watch the film and I'm like, okay, I get it. So that dude kind of looks like Jake Gyllenhaal. Okay. And is that supposed to be her? I didn't get it so much that the girl was totally her, but certainly the guy was Jake Gyllenhaal. So there you go. There you have it. That's why that's trending today. That's why she's going nuts. I Bet You Think About Me, which is another song that I guess is being dropped. Another film too. That's directed this time by Blake Lively. Win-Win is trending. Win-Win. Why is Win-Win trending? Do you have any idea why Win-Win would be trending?
Win-Win. Yeah, not the Win Hotel.
No, W-I-N.
No.
Because bigger than all three of those damn people we just talked about, Win-Win is the current biggest Korean pop band on the planet. Oldsters like us, we still think it's about BTS. Oh no, the kids have moved on from BTS. Apparently now it's about Win-Win.
So why are they spelling it like Nguyen?
Nope. Capital W-I-N. capital W-I-N, no space between the two words. Win-win. Right? You would think like maybe like that.
Like
win-win.
why they go from their NGUYEN?
I don't know, because they're trying to sell to English-speaking kids. That's why. How does that work for you? That makes sense in your banker's pocket? That's
No.
why. They don't want to be too foreign. They just want to be foreign enough to be exotic, but everything must be easily accessible to the record buying, to the downloading American public. Win-win. Let's see here. Talking about Leslie Gladback wants to know about what about Pink? What about Pink? I like
Pink is a lot older than Taylor Swift, I think.
Yeah, and Pink is like
Katy Perry's 37, Taylor Swift 31, Ariana Grande 28. So Ariana Grande and Taylor Swift are closer in age than
they're contemporaries. I would say.
Yeah, but like it was always Katy Perry and Swift or Taylor Swift like going after each other.
Were they? No,
Yeah.
Taylor didn't go after nobody. Taylor doesn't. People go after Taylor.
Yeah, dude. There were like big cat fights between the two of them. I think it was over John Mayer.
Taylor's a darling. Taylor.
I think it was over John Mayer too.
Taylor's sweet. Taylor's kind. Taylor's talented. How dare you, sir?
I'm just saying. I think like their cat fight started over John Mayer. I think, if I remember.
All right. So what else is happening today? Also trending. We already talked about this. And what day is it today? America Recycles is trending. So we don't need to talk about that. We know what that's about.
How did I get called a racist?
Who called you a racist?
Korean and not Vietnamese. I don't know how they spell it.
Because people just thoughtlessly throw out, right? Yeah, you're ignorant, but you're not a racist. That would be a cause of ignorance, not you saying that one race is superior to the other. Stop using racism in the improper way.
I just knew
you're ignorant, not a racist. Sometimes
I'll admit I'm very ignorant, but
there you go. Innocent mistake.
No, it wasn't innocent. I sincerely thought that if they were from over there, that's how they spelled win.
Well, your ignorance is innocent. That's what I meant. Your ignorance doesn't come from a place of wanting it to be hurtful or hateful. Your ignorance is just
like if somebody said spell win in Korean, I would have spelled it Nguyen.
Adam, I know. Adam, I thought you and I had a thing. I thought you and I were on the same page. I thought we understood what this was.
We use Adam for color here.
I know. He sets me off. He triggers me. Right. Which is good, which is why I need him around and why I appreciate him being around. All right. Patrick Leahy, 81-year-old senator from Vermont, is trending. Why is he trending? Well, because he announced that he is retiring. He is retiring from the Senate. He's 81 years old. And let me tell you something. I've gone 180 on this. I used to say, let's get rid of all of the old guys. Let's get rid of all of these old men and let's just elect new, younger people. I have gone 180 degrees on this. Every time some old dude with nothing else to prove, who's, at death's door, who's probably trying to look good in the eyes of God, his God, who's God, whatever. Every time one of those guys leave, I think we get in trouble because he's replaced by a 40-year-old climber who is going to be more corrupt for the next 30 years, trying to make their bones in the political world, doing whatever crazy ass shit. You know what I mean? There is something to be said for a bunch of super old dudes who have nothing left to prove, who've got all their corruption out of their way. Their money is already going to the grandkids and all that stuff. And now they're about to die and they're only doing what's right. Case in point, John McCain. John McCain was that dude. John McCain had no other political ambitions. He was just at death's door and he wanted to make good with God. So he did something that was morally decent for all people, not just crazy right wingers. So we're going to
I get your thought process there. Like there is something to be said about grandpa who doesn't really give a crap anymore.
Right. And who's afraid of dying.
Right.
And who wants to go out on a high note. Who wants to go out no more, subverting their better moral instincts just to get,
And there's something to be said for that amount of experience too. Once you've been around the block a few times, you can kind of sniff it out.
just worries me. Every time I see one of these Josh Hawley types, or one of the, it's like that. Oh, that dude's gonna be trouble. That dude is young. That dude wants it all. He is driven. He's gonna make deals. He's gonna take lobby money. He is not gonna do shit that's in our best interest. He's gonna do shit that's in his best interest. Whereas like a super old dude, he might actually, like I say, I think being at death's door as an old man, that's a motivator to maybe, because you're going to be in front of, God, Jesus, whoever your guy is. You're going to be in front of them and you're going to have to go, hey, but what about that shit I did in the last 6 months? You know what I mean? You're going to want to finish strong. You're going to want to have something.
Can't win your way into heaven, Pugs.
Well, but you can try. Speaking of somebody who's never going to heaven, Alex Jones is also trending today.
Oh, I thought this was perfect.
Oh, did you see this?
Yes.
Well, is it about the same thing? Because, who knows?
I would imagine that potato head.
A Connecticut judge ruled Alex Jones was guilty by default, granting a sweeping victory for the parents suing the far-right broadcaster for defamation over the Sandy Hook shooting. Is that the story?
That's it. Yep.
That's it, man.
For just denying that it occurred.
Yeah.
I mean, he should get his ass whipped.
Monstrous. That is monstrous. That is absolutely monstrous. I actually, there is something so morally bankrupt about people who are willing to take that position. When you see these parents of kindergartners whose little babies never came home, and then you decide that it is in your best monetary or getting clicks or whatever it is that you're trying to do, you decide that it's in your best interest to basically deny their grief, to deny what happened, to pretend like they were all actors. That is fucking monstrous, and you will burn in hell for that.
I hope monetarily it just tears him a new one.
I hope it destroys him. I hope it does. He started the whole Sandy Hook truther movement. That is absolute. You know what? You want to do your little stupid ass false flag arguments about everything. That's fine. We saw dead kids, dead babies. Stop it. Stop. This isn't even a gun issue. We're not even talking about guns. You're saying it didn't fucking happen. How do you deal with that? You can go round and round about the gun that was used and how access to the gun was gotten. All of that stuff. That's fine. That's ugly. But you went so far in the other direction. You're saying it didn't even fucking happen. You're saying that those parents who lost children didn't lose children. You are a monster, Alex Jones. I remember sitting at Live 105.3 with Bob McNeil. You remember Bob McNeil? I think it was Bob. It was Bob. Remember Bob McNeil, the program director before Gavin, over there at Live 105.3?
Sure.
Oh, man, Alex Jones so desperately wanted to work at 105.3. He used to send these packages to the program director about crazy things, like a box full of light bulbs with like a note, I've got ideas. Like crazy, stupid shit. And I remember sitting in the office and we were listening to a tape of Alex Jones before Alex Jones decided to be the asshole. Before he decided, he went, oh man, you know what? I could completely hoodwink the rubes if I just go in. Like he made a calculation of the audience that he could drum up, and he decided. But he was trying to be like a wacky, like you wanted to try and fit in 105.3.
Shock jock.
Oh, and he was so bad. He wasn't witty. There was no cleverness to anything that he was doing. It was all just recycled bits from bad Howard Stern clones in Cleveland. It's like he went around the country and went, hey man, what are they doing in Toledo that's really lighting up the phone? And then he would just mimic those. So that's my favorite Alex Jones memory, that he wasn't good enough to work at 105.3 and we all just thought he was a clown show. But hey, joke's on us. He jumped into the internet, went down to Austin, and now he's going to burn in hell. So I guess ultimately we still win, right? I mean, that's got to be.
Just denying that happened. If you're a parent, I mean, that just will not allow you to process your grief when you're trying to get people to believe it didn't even happen.
So ugly. It's just so mean. It's so needlessly cruel. I don't understand it. And I would also put it on the people who believe, that the Sandy Hook truth it never happened. I would put it on those people to just look in the mirror, man. That is a really ugly position to take. There are people that are broken. People are broken. And maybe it doesn't resonate how awful and how truly cruel and unnecessary that hot take is. And so they just say it to get a response. Man, that's not a place anyone needs to go. Those parents suffered an unthinkable tragedy. And I remember when it happened. I was still here. And my kid was with my mom at the time, or not my mom, his mom at the time. I remember I was not having your kid that day, sitting on the couch watching that unfold, and then knowing that my kid was not somewhere in the other room where I could go, okay, mine's fine. That makes me feel. It just made me very anxious. It was a very weird, what a piece of garbage world this is really hit home on that day in those moments.
Well, I think, anytime a school shooting happens today, that's the first thing you think about if you're a parent and you have kids and they are at school, is, oh my God, where's my kid?
I'm hearing that our audio is now really skipping. What is going on with the internet in this place? What is Ed bit mining for Bitcoin or whatever it is that they do? What is going on? Are we having some kind of drag?
Not sure.
Did you
In breaking news, though, Bannon is finally leaving the courthouse now.
Oh yeah. What do you do? He doesn't even look like he showered today. That guy. Mr. Diggy Pie says, Pugs, where did you see dead baby pics of Sandy Hook, Pugs? Well, I didn't see dead baby. I wouldn't look at dead baby pics. I'm not the kind of person that needs to see pictures of the actual carnage to understand the gravity of what happened. I wouldn't look at those. All right, good. Rob says it's fine. And Kenny says there's no problem there either. All right, so hopefully it's an issue on there.
Maybe it's on the other person's end.
Let's see here. Well, here you go. I guess this is a nice little, nice wouldn't be the word. This is a fitting companion piece to the story of Sandy Hook. Ezra Blount.
Oh, no.
9-year-old Ezra Blount has now died after the Astro World tragedy that occurred there, the Travis Scott concert about a week and a half ago now. He is the 10th person to die. He was 9 years old. And, the Cincinnati Who concert from 1979, 1980, whenever that was.
11 people.
Yeah, that was 11 people. So now we're up to 10. And there are still a number of people who are in, very serious condition. And after the Cincinnati incident occurred, there was sweeping change in the concert industry. I mean, it was. So I'm wondering, you would think here we are 40 years later.
Didn't they pull up GA for a while? There was no more general admission.
Yeah, I was under the impression that general admission was still gone everywhere, but no, it made a comeback with these festivals that started popping up that were not in traditional stadiums where seating wasn't a thing, where you could just stand and watch a concert in a parking lot. So it came back, and I'm telling you, that's the problem. People, stampedes, people moving around, not having a specific place. So there you go. So best thoughts to Ezra.
Yeah, I think that's going to probably be the first reform you're going to see. They're going to pull up all these GA seats.
9 years old. I would take a 9-year-old to a concert. It shouldn't be a terrible idea to be able to take your 9-year-old kid to a concert to expose them to culture. I
wouldn't take a 9-year-old to a concert with GA though.
No, of course not. No, exactly. I agree with you on that. Yes. I might take a 9-year-old. Well, first of all, I ain't taking a 9-year-old to a Travis Scott concert. I'm taking a 9-year-old to see Journey. I'm taking a 9-year-old.
But I'm saying if you are taking,
we're a better behaved group.
If you are taking a child, or if I'm taking a child to a concert, regardless of who the person is that's playing, I'm making sure that I have a seat and that we're not having to fight for our GA seat.
do I take the bait on what I almost assume has to be a joke from Mr.
No,
Dookie Pie?
no, I no, I just
There's nothing
no,
funny about that.
no.
All right, hey, here's something fun. Since we're gonna round out the show here with fun stuff, Ghislaine Maxwell is trending today. All right, so we know who this broad is, right? She is this broad. Oh my God, what is she doing mixed up with this Epstein character? She was Epstein's procurer of fine young girls, as she's been described. She was like a big time socialite, like an important person who hung out with royals. Her father was like a Rupert Murdoch type who ran newspapers and media businesses and all of this stuff. And somehow she ended up with this creepo Epstein, and now she's
Well, but I mean, it seems like they were,
an item.
yeah, romantically involved.
I think she's a little too old for him. Just based on what I know about his interests, I think that maybe she was a little too old for him.
And so she may have had some of her own picadillos.
Epstein scapegoat or sexual abuser? The trial of Ghislaine Maxwell. For the former socialite and the woman who say she helped ravage their lives, the moment of reckoning has finally arrived. Okay, so she's going on trial. And here's the question. By the way, she was attractive too. I'm looking at pictures of her as a young woman. She was, I could see why she was like a
A
socialite.
lot of people didn't think she would make it to trial.
Ghislaine Maxwell's high society life of private jets, sumptuous mansions, and lavish parties with the rich and powerful has collapsed into a grimy cell in Brooklyn. Now, after 16 months behind bars, she's about to do what her ex-boyfriend Jeffrey Epstein never did: stand trial. The British socialite and daughter of the late disgraced publishing baron. I didn't know he was disgraced, but okay. The British socialite and daughter of the late disgraced publishing baron Robert Maxwell is accused of recruiting and grooming a steady stream of girls as young as 14 to be sexually assaulted by Epstein between 1994 and 2004. Prosecutors say Maxwell befriended and helped normalize the abuse by being present and even participating in some of it. Okay, so that's gross, even to just think about it. But I would submit that what she did is on an equal
Without a doubt,
basis as Epstein.
Yeah,
I think
with that, she's just as guilty.
She's a monster herself. This is
Just
a woman.
as guilty.
It's a powerful,
even probably more guilty in some ways because
that's
she's a female recruiting other females.
That's right. He trying to do this on his own. He's just a creeper and he's going to get shot down a bunch of times. But you have this beautiful, well-known, especially in England, socialite woman who seems to have connections and seems to have style and panache. That is the kind of woman that would be impressive to a 14, 15-year-old girl, right? That is the kind of a 14, 15-year-old girl would look at her as a role model, as someone that they want to be. Wow, is her life together? Look at her. She dresses so stylish. Look at her. She goes to all these incredible places. She lives in these amazing homes. So the idea that she just got inside and mind fucked these little kids into and that's what they are. They are little kids into thinking that this was totally normal, that this is something that's just going to happen. It's just like, and then disposed them. I mean, it wasn't like they were brought and, given wonderful. It was like, wham, bam, thank you, ma'am. Now you're gone.
I mean, in the fact that she's a female, they're a female, you would imagine there's some kind of thought process going off in their head. Well, she wouldn't put herself in this place being a female and I'm a female. So, kind of mother hen, she's going to protect me.
That's mother hen. That's perfectly said. That's exactly what she is. She misled these girls who were, they were kids. They were just little kids. They didn't know what was happening. And they trusted.
I'm really shocked that she's made it this far.
Right? Yeah. Well, she supposedly has diaries and books and all this kind of stuff. I don't want no deals out of her. I don't want no deals. I don't really give a shit. I don't care about all the conspiracy theories. Epstein is dead. I want her to pay the price. I don't want her to go, oh, but I can give you the names of all of these people. No, fuck you. Give us those. but also life in prison without the possibility of parole. That's what you get, you monster. Now, if you want to do the right thing for your moral conscience and give up those names anyway, wonderful. But we can just move on. The two monsters are gone. I am really worried that she's going to get some kind of a deal because of what she knows, and that she'll be out walking around in 10 years when this woman needs to spend the rest of her days in prison.
Yeah, I don't think there's a deal that she could get.
Oh, she'll do time, but how much is the question?
Right. Yeah. Yeah, exactly.
Let's see here. All right, let's just run through here. We've everything that I've prepared for. We pretty much went through. So let's see if anything new is trending since Xbox 20. I don't know what that's about. Xbox 20 is now trending at number 1 across at least 2 platforms.
Xbox 20 versus PS5.
I don't know what that is. Xbox adds more than 70 new games to its backward compatibility library. That means something to somebody. Means nothing to this guy. Oh, still trending. The baby is still trending. So we got that to look forward to.
And you refreshed?
Rittenhouse is not, I refreshed. These are all within the last 10 minutes. Rittenhouse is now trending. Closing arguments set to begin in Kyle Rittenhouse's homicide trial. We already talked about that. Beto is still trending at number 4.
He has matched up his tie and his shirt, and he's got the right tie on, the right color shirt. But my critique would be he needs to button up his damn collar and tighten his tie.
Is he wearing
He's not after 5 o'clock and you're hanging out at the bar, dude.
Looks like
you're
in
the middle of a trial. Well, I mean, but he's in the middle of a trial for his life, and he looks like he's at 5 o'clock after work. His collar's unbuttoned, his tie's loosened. Not a good look.
Not a good look. You want to be tight. You want to look like your shit's together.
No, you want to look like you're paying attention to the respect that's due by wearing the suit and tie, and not like your collar's half loose and your buttons undone. I mean,
is it a solid tie, or is he
doing
solid
color tie, solid color shirt? He's got all that down, but now he's just looking a little bit lackadaisical, in my opinion.
You can you can do a print tie. This is what I was told. I was like, I have a wide selection of ties. Maybe one day I will share them with you.
I think you ought to start wearing them every day on the show.
You have said that before, and I have actually looked at my ties and gone, maybe I'm wearing a hoodie, but maybe I'll just throw a tie on too, to show my crazy.
Just to be a little bit odd,
I have ties from every era. I have wide zoot suit ties. I have skinny ties. And how it was explained to me is that if you're going to wear a traditional cut tie, which is the traditional width, which isn't skinny and it isn't wide, it's sort of right down the middle. If you're going to wear that today, the accepted fashion look is that the tie should be not always, but should be solid. And if it isn't solid, then it needs to have something else going on, and everything underneath it has to be solid. Like if it's not going to be solid, if you're going to have some sort of stripes or maybe a multitude of colors, that must accent something either in your shirt or in your jacket. But if you're just wearing, like he was the other day, he was wearing like a maroon shirt with a crazy
yellow and gray tie.
That didn't do nothing. That was just like, what?
You look like Tony the Mobster.
Right, from 1988. It was like totally maybe I will start tonight. Maybe I will start tonight with I will wear my favorite tie tonight. That's what I'll do. I'll wear my favorite tie tonight.
So I think you can wear a tie even if you got a t-shirt on. You just tie it up like a tie.
Yeah. So I'm thinking I'll probably wear.
You don't have to have the shirt and all that to go with it. You just wear the tie.
I'll start showing.
I've been wearing the sunglasses. I got to start getting through the whole inventory of the different pairs of sunglasses.
Yeah, mix them up.
Yeah, I'm gonna mix them up.
Give us a little something. The other thing about my ties, oh boy, they have not been since I moved to this location. My ties have not been properly
stored.
No, my ties were in a suitcase, and I just opened it up, and I was like, "Oh man, gonna have to iron some of those because they're a little bit."
Just take them out and put them on a hanger. Some of them might fall out.
I guess. I don't know. I don't have a lot of occasion to wear ties, but should I?
I got a tie rack. I don't know. I would think I'm close to maybe 100.
Yeah, that's where I'm at. You probably have as many ties as me, but But you have to understand, I acquired all of my ties within like a 3-week period, whereas your ties have been amassed over decades of working in suit business.
Yes, exactly.
Mine were just, hey, I got another bag of ties. You want any of these? And I'm like, I'll take this one. I'll take this one. I'll take this one. It's like, no, you're taking this one. I don't like that one. No, that's a good tie. You're taking it. Okay. I mean, I have no fashion sense. So look at this stupid skinny tie. Yes, you're taking that. Skinny ties are in. I'm like, really?
What was that steakhouse that they would cut your tie off? Oh God, I can't remember the name of it right now.
I have heard of that bit. Was that associated with one specific steakhouse? I've heard
Yeah,
of that.
there was one out in Arlington, and there was
Fucking
one
stab
on.
you. If I'm wearing my favorite tie and you cut my fucking, are you kidding me? I would stab you.
You would take people there to the steakhouse. Let me think. What was it? Cut. I don't know. It was somewhere.
Prime
It was right there. What?
I just said prime cut. I made that up. That sounds like a steakhouse.
No, Trail Dust. There it is. Ross got it. Yeah, Trail Dust Steakhouse. You would go to the Trail Dust.
And they would really cut your tie.
Yeah, and well, you knew.
Was your meal free?
I don't think you got your free
You cut
meal.
my fucking tie.
No, you didn't get a free meal, but you would take people there from out of town to the Trail Dust, and then they would cut your tie, and then they would take your tie and they would put it on the wall. And so this place was like known for having all their cut ties. So if you're a business guy, you take
They
it was
ask,
like,
right? They gotta ask. This can't
yeah,
just be, hold them
well,
down.
I mean, you
know,
knew
it's just
you knew that they were gonna cut it, and that was kind of the thing.
as long as it was understood.
Yeah,
I
they
was
just
with a
you
good
didn't
tie, I
walk
would
in and they
take it
just
off
like
in the
zip
car.
it right away.
Okay. Well, that's what it sounded
But like it was kind of like an out of towner gimmicky thing, you know, and people would go there and they'd want to get their tie cut, you know, just because like, have you ever been to a restaurant where they cut your tie?
Now, I have a number of ties in my collection that I would offer up for sacrifice. I was like, I'm never going to wear this stupid tie, you know, so maybe to have fun, if I knew going in, I'd be like, yeah, this is a cuttable tie. I'll wear this one.
Yeah, so then you and your party then would all get your picture cut with your ties cut, you know.
You are not going to cut my Armani silk black skinny tie. You are not going to cut that. That's like a $200 tie. You are not cutting that. And it's currently in a ball in my suitcase.
They had two of them. They had one in Arlington, right out by Six Flags there, and then they had the other one was at Walnut Hill in 35 Restaurant Row, right by San Francisco Steakhouse, interestingly enough.
Oh, I remember that place. Or I've never been there, but I used to see it. You know, it was right there off the road, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
It's now turned into a topless bar.
Very good. Very good. Sneakers is trending. Green Goblin is trending. Jesse Jackson is trending. This is funny. Okay. So we got another big trial going on in this country. It's the Ahmaud Arbery trial going on down there in Georgia. Three goobers that, you know, decided to take the law into their own hands and kill this kid. So apparently the prosecutor went on a rant last Thursday or Friday about no more black pastors are allowed in the courtroom. He specifically said no more black pastors because apparently the family of Ahmaud Arbery was sitting there with Al Sharpton, and then the day before they were sitting there with another one, and the day before there was a different one. So the prosecutor believes that was having undue influence over the jury. And so he got up and he made his speech where he basically just exposed what a racist piece of shit he is. And he said, no more. I don't want to see another one of these black pastors in here.
And the judge allowed that?
Oh, yeah. Well, I don't know if he allowed it, but it was said. I mean, you know.
Well, I know it's said, but I mean, him saying he does what he doesn't want and so what actually is allowed to happen.
Well, I cannot answer that. I do not know for sure, but I can tell you that today in the courtroom, Jesse Jackson is there with 100 black pastors.
Well, then evidently the judge didn't go for it.
Now, only Jesse's in the courtroom, and that's why Jesse is trending. But apparently just outside the courtroom now in the hallways, there's like 100 black pastors from Jesse Jackson's Operation Troublemaker, whatever the hell is going on with him these days. I don't know. But yeah, that is funny.
If they don't get a conviction in this thing, there's going to be riots in the streets.
The judge in the Ahmaud Arbery trial denies defense attorney Kevin Gao's request to remove. So today, moving forward today, not only did Thursday's motion not get passed, they said, look, we can't tell the family they can't have spiritual advisors with them. Their son's dead. What the fuck? What kind of people you think we are, you dummy? So I guess that was denied. And then today, when Jesse Jackson showed up with all the other black pastors, this guy, Kevin Gao, requested that the court remove Reverend Jackson from the court. And the judge said, we're not going to do that.
Dude, you're
dummy.
spending like your capital on the wrong topic.
That's right. But they have fun, don't they?
Oh.
There was an earthquake today in Southern California, but apparently nothing really bad happened. So,
How big?
not big enough for us to have talked about it before the last couple of minutes of the show here. So,
Okay.
It is a funny thing that happens, especially on Twitter. Whenever the ground shakes in California, everybody in California runs to Twitter and it starts trending immediately. Like no matter, and then you get to see little videos. Like for instance, I watched a video, I pulled it up. The worst this one apparently was today was it was a woman in a high-rise apartment, and the camera on her computer, she was doing a work Zoom meeting, and the camera showed the drapes in the background, and the drapes just kind of went like a breeze came through. Like it's like that's it, and it's trending #1 for a couple hours this morning. All right, there we go. Get no Leahy. We talked about that. We talked about Lois and Clark. I don't give a crap about that. All right, that's it, folks. We're going to be done here. That's pretty much going to do the show for today. We're going to be back tonight. Pillow Talk edition at 9 o'clock. Hope you can join us. Thank you to E. There he goes. He's done. We're going to leave you with That's Most Earthquake here. Okay. All right. Thank you, folks. Something new. Roses and lace, it's the 15th. You want to support the show? We would certainly appreciate that. Monetary donations can be made at any of the Father. I'll put these up real quick. Don't like to do this, but hey, this is how we do the show, right? Something new. There you go. You can help the show there. But also, as I always say, spread the word. Like if you're watching on YouTube. Subscribe if you're watching on YouTube. Tell people. Bring people. Talk it up. Be just obnoxious about it. Not everybody can throw a tip the way of the show. And tips go to me. Let's be honest. This is all I do. And I'm trying to maintain some sort of above water situation. So I appreciate that. But again, that's not the only way you can help. And you can also share the show when you see it. You can like it. And just keep showing up. And keep participating. You people specifically in the chat room, you have no idea the mental... Oh, look at what I've done here. I have to start the song again. The good mental vibes that you people that I see, especially you regulars in the chat room, what you do for me on a day in and day out basis, it's wonderful. I appreciate it. I really love seeing y'all. Some of you drive me nuts, Adam Reyna. Some of you like to poke at me, Leslie. Some of you are friends that go back 20, 30, 40 years. Mom Beller. Rob Barr. Appreciate y'all. Have a great day. We'll see you back at 9 o'clock tonight for Pillow Talk. I'm Pugs. This has been Pugs and Company on the Radio Misfits Podcast Network. Love you guys. Bye, Kenny. Bye, Leslie. This can be the start of something new. Roses and lace, they are meant for you. May peace be with you every day, in every kind of way. May good things come into your life to have a blessed day. This can be the start of something new.
Roses and lace, they are meant for you. This can be the start of something new. Roses and lace, they are meant for you.